I'm in a conversation with Nilesh Gupta of Lupin. Nilesh, quality and reliability, quality and automation are the key words that I've really been hearing throughout this conference. Tell me, what does it really mean in terms of cost though?
So, first of all, I think the international generic markets are, for the most part, extremely remunerative markets as well. So you have to invest to get returns from these markets. So I think it makes sense to invest. But first of all, the incremental cost of some of these things that we talked about is negligible, and what it gives you in terms of assurance on quality and therefore on productivity is far offsetting the cost of what you would do.
Okay, so the costs of non-compliance are far greater.
Yeah, the cost of non-compliance, but also what good quality does, right? I think lesser batches will get rejected, product will be supplied more reliably, lesser damages will come from customers, so you get all those advantages.
Okay, so then moving to your most important business area, and I'm talking about the US, of course. I would like to understand what is your view on the possibility of a border tax coming in, and what would that really mean in terms of the costs and margins for Indian pharmaceutical companies, if not for Lupin in general?
Yeah. So I can't really comment on the possibility. I know that it's going to be extremely disruptive if something like that was to come in. It would terribly affect supply chains. India supplies close to 40% of product to the US, and that's not just Indian companies. It's a lot of other companies that make it out of India, and India is still only the second largest exporter into the US. Europe supplies a lot more product as well. So you're talking about a very significant disruption in the supply chain if you're trying to introduce something like a border tax. That being said, we can't rule out something like that coming in, and if that was to come in, obviously we'll all have to react very quickly on our supply chains to see what we do. In the near term, I think it would mean shortages, it would mean higher cost of product as well. I think it would be extremely disruptive.
All right, like I was already discussing with you earlier also, we're seeing a lot of pricing pressure as far as most of your regulated markets are concerned. US, Japan, most of European countries. Where is that one place or any place where you see the opportunity to increase prices, or any markets that are looking attractive to you, or any new geographies you're looking to enter?
So I think one thing is true about generic prices come down year on year. So the only way to make it up is new products, and that's why we talked about getting quicker approvals from the FDA, for example, but also in other markets. I think the global opportunities remain. I think emerging markets are the growing markets. So I think markets like Brazil, Mexico, very challenging right now from a forex volatility perspective, but extremely high growth markets. Markets like India, pretty high growth market as well. So I think the growth opportunity will remain from markets such as this. At one point of time, China as well. But I think the foundation is based on new products and getting new products to market.
Okay, then if new product launches are going to be the most important thing to be able to offset the price challenges, R&D only becomes more important from that perspective. So do you see R&D cost really going up from here on, or the 10% sort of sales is a level that you see R&D cost remaining at?
Yeah. So for us, it's actually close to 14% at this point of time. We want to keep it at that level, and I think that's a lot, especially with the top line growth that we have. That will be a significant amount of money that we would spend. I think most of the increased spend, that delta is coming from more complex generics, from more specialty kind of products as well. The spend on mainstay oral solids is pretty much remaining the same over time. So I think we're going to be able to do a lot with the spend that we have.
On the inorganic growth front, any particular or what sort of acquisition assets are you really looking at currently?
So the geography assets are all covered. I think we wanted to be in Brazil, we wanted to be in Mexico, we've added those as well. We wanted to get deeper in Japan, so we've done that. So I think now it's going to be about depth and specialty. So in markets like Japan, we acquired a set of products so that we really move into a more branded, a more hybrid kind of model as a company. The big missing piece is specialty in the US, so the focus remains on specialty acquisitions.
Any size range or cost that you're really keeping in mind?
I know where this goes. No, I think we're very open. We're looking at all kinds of assets. You're looking at assets which would be tens of millions. You're looking at assets which would be several multiples of that as well.
All right, Nilesh. Thank you so much for your time. That was all. Thank you very much.